I know exactly how you feel right now. Right now, you are at a crossroads. You are literally at the intersection of your calling and your career. You have literally been doing your career for some time now, years, right? Maybe even decades. And you've identified so much of yourself and of who you are to this career. And because of the credentials that you've been able to obtain, now it's like God is calling you into coaching full time. And you're like, subconsciously there's a resistance there because you're like, oh my gosh, you're literally, it feels like you're ripping away your identity. You're ripping away at who you've been for all these years, all these decades, right? And so now it's like you're like in this tension of a crossroad of, okay, Lord, I know you're calling me to coaching full time, but then I'm just so attached to like my career and the security that I found in my career, even though I have this divine discomfort for more for my life. I just feel this pull and this tension. And I want to let you know today that I understand 100% how that tension is because I was there. I was literally there. Like my dream career was a nurse. All I ever wanted to do as a little girl was become a nurse, just my mom was, and I was able to do that, and I worked as a nurse for so many years, and I'm super proud of being a nurse. Like I love caring for people, I love helping and healing people, I love nurturing, I love serving, and I could not even imagine like doing anything else until I was in this career and I felt this divine discomfort, like this divine pull for more. I'm like, every time I would clock in, my heart would sink, my stomach, like I would feel this gut wrenching feeling in the pit of my stomach and just hear God say, like, there's more for you. I have more for you. And I would constantly hear that. And so it was like such a tussle because even in the midst of that, I didn't know what the more was. I didn't know. I knew it was going to be business, but I didn't know what sector of business. I had no idea at that moment. I just knew like the four walls of the hospital were closing in on me and I knew God was calling me to expand. I just didn't know what that was. And for you, in your case, you know it's coaching. At this point, you know it's coaching. And you know, like God is calling you in this direction. So you've started your coaching business, or maybe you've been researching, looking, and you know, you want to actually build out a coaching business so that you can transition into that career full time, transition from your current career into coaching as a career full time. But maybe you're just at this crossroads where it's just this tussle of tension. Trust me, I know. So I remember the day I left work, like, and I finally, you know, it's a whole long buildup before that, of course. But when I did my last day of work, I clocked out and I was I had already started my business, my purpose driven business. And I was able to transition in just 9 months, right? And so I gave my 2 weeks notice. I was leaving my career, and I remember crying the entire drive home because it was like a heavy. How do I explain it? Like it was such a heavy. I don't want to say burden, but a lift. And it's also like as I was driving away from my job, away from my career, driving home that evening, I just remember feeling so like worried about the what if, about the future. Like, did I make the right decision? Right? Like, I knew I did, but then there was still this tension of just like, I hope I did, right? Or Lord, what are we gonna do now? And just because entrepreneurship is it's not it's not culturally the norm, right? The majority of society, they work 9 to 5, you know, they clock in and out, they have someone over them telling them what to do. Entrepreneurship is not like that. It's like literally, especially as a believer in business, it's you and God, right? It's you and God. And you're building this thing out. And so it was different. And so I was afraid. Like I was I was a little afraid driving away. And I was just like, man. But in the same sense, I felt such a sense of peace and liberation, right? And so it's like I understand that your emotions might be high right now and that you're probably a little afraid to take that big step of faith and just really take that leap of faith into going all in your coaching business. I get it. I get it. And so in today's episode of the Daily Dose, which is DOSE is an acronym for Divine Overflow of Spirit-Led Empowerment, is where I encourage you. I sit with the Lord and just ask him to just pour out in me so I can pour out into you, and just whatever the Lord gives me to speak about, that's what we speak about in the Daily Dose. And so it's really to empower you, to equip you, encourage you on your road in this journey of entrepreneurship. And so in today's episode, I'm going to be breaking down how I transitioned from my career to my calling as a coach, right? I'll be kind of sharing more on that story and just like giving you pointers on what to really make sure that you are instilling in your business principles as you transition, right? For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Janel Ranée. I am a faithologist. I'm a certified life and business mindset coach, and I help you to transition into coaching full time without chasing clients, without self-sabotaging, or without having to sacrifice time with your family, right? And so that's what I do. So I'm going to jump into the first point that I have for you. And so the first point that you want to make sure that you have when you are transitioning into coaching full time is definitely clarity, right? So clarity on your God-given purpose and who you're called to serve. And so this is number one. When I first launched out and started coaching, it was really because I was able to successfully transition into my business, my purpose-driven business full time within 9 months. I was just like, I felt so liberated, like I shared earlier, and I really wanted to just share what I did to help other moms. Like, so for me, like as a nurse, I was working 12-hour shifts, which means that was like 13 hours away from my children multiple days a week. And so I didn't feel present with my family. I didn't feel present with my children. I felt like half of the week I was at work, right? And so it's like I felt like I just wanted to be free to be able to make my own schedule. I wanted to be free to work from home so that I can be present with my family. That was my true desire. And so I just knew, like, because that was one of my desires, I wanted the same for other moms. I wanted the same for other women who felt that felt torn, like, or felt like being torn between having to choose between going to work and making money versus being present with their children, right? And so I wanted to help women to make money within their God-given purpose and while being present with their children. And still to this day, that is my mission, is to show moms that you don't have to choose between being present and being paid and working in your purpose work, right? And so my calling at the time was nursing. God did call me into nursing, but then he was calling me out of it into coaching to now help other women do the same. And so it's just beautiful when I look back and I'm like, wow, like I see how God was ordering my steps so that not only did I have the urge and the pull for entrepreneurship and I was able to start my business, but then now I was able to teach other women, dozens of women, to start their own purpose-driven business as well. And to really be able to be present with their children and be highly paid while doing your purpose work, your God-given purpose work. And so it's so important that literally the first step of my framework, I have a CPR framework. Okay. Of course it's going to be CPR because as a nurse, I initiated it so many times, and God is just divine like that. He told me that he was transitioning me from physical CPR to spiritual CPR, where I'm just really reviving his body, reviving his daughters to really walk in their God-given identity and their kingdom assignment and really doing their purpose work. And so the first step of my CPR framework, the C, is to realign with your creator for clarity on your calling. And so the first step you have to do to make sure that you are transitioning into coaching full-time from your career successfully is really just clarity. It's having clarity, having a clear vision and understanding of what your God-given purpose is and who it is that you're called to serve, right? And so that was something I did. And this is the first step that I help my clients to do as well, all right? And so, hey, my bro, how are you, Kevin? Thank you for that. Thank you. All love, bro. Thank you. Okay, so that's the first step. The second thing you want to make sure that you have when you're transitioning into coaching full-time from your career is a level of conviction, all right? Conviction. And this comes with clarity. So the first step is clarity. Once you get that clarity on your God-given purpose. I help you to walk through your gifts, your talents, your skills, your experiences. We go through my framework. It's called the Treasure Trial Framework to help you to build out your framework. And when you do that, you show up with a level of conviction, right? So like I shared, the first thing is under that umbrella, under the C, under getting realigning with your creator for clarity, under that is where we actually work on your signature framework. So that's literally the first step. Like you're building conviction. You have conviction in your signature framework, and we craft out a premium offer that makes selling feel natural. Okay. So when you have clarity and you have conviction, because the way I help my clients to work out to do their signature framework, I help them to literally take from their passions, pull from their proficiencies, pull from their life experiences, their expertise, their years of experience. And this is what we use to mold your signature framework, right? And so from that, because it's something that you've actually lived through, you show up with such a level of conviction, because now it's like, you have a level of confidence, you have a level of certainty, because you've walked this journey. You're not just selling something that you haven't actually lived. You've lived it. You've gone through it. It's aligned with your passions. It's aligned with your proficiencies. So now this is your signature framework. And now we place your framework inside a premium offer. Okay, so we built out a 4-figure offer, and we actually sell that within a simplified sales funnel, which is what we're going to go into next, right? And so this is the second step in how you are able to really show up and transition from your career into coaching full-time with a level of conviction, right? So first is clarity, then it's a level of conviction. Third, what you need is consistency. So with consistency, you're building out a system that brings in clients without burnout, or without fear, or without striving. You're not hustling, right? Like I said, we are not chasing clients. We're not burning out. We're not self-sabotaging, and we're not sacrificing precious time with our families to build out a business, right? We are building simultaneously. So as we're healing our nervous system, healing our broken belief systems, we are now showing up and marketing our business with a level of conviction. We're marketing our offer with a level of conviction, and that is building that consistency and showing up, because you're speaking from a level of a place of passion. You're speaking from a level of certainty and confidence. And so that draws in magnetic messaging. That's magnetic messaging that draws in your best clients. And I speak about best versus blah, but you want to be calling in your best clients, right? And so when you are showing up, you're marketing your offer with conviction, you're building out something that I help my clients to do, which is just, I'm so grateful to God for allowing me to develop this framework to really simplify your sales funnel. And we build out a simplified sales funnel so that you can scale your business in simplicity, because we know simplicity is what scales. Complexity is what fails. And so you have to build your business simply. You are already a working mom. You have a to-do list out the door, right? And so we want to make sure that your sales are coming in seamlessly. We built out a strategic, simplified, systemized method for your sales to come in. But it's not complicated. We do it simply. And so powerful, such a powerful way to have consistent income coming in. And so consistency is how you're able to, consistent sales is how you're going to be able to scale your business so that you can make those 10K months, so that you can transition into coaching full time, right? And so we're going to break down, just review the 3 things that we mentioned. So clarity, conviction, and consistency. And these are the things that we work through inside of my Business by Belief Accelerator. I want to invite you to just comment belief. Comment belief if you want to build your business with belief systems that are rooted on kingdom principles, right? This is how I've been able to transition into coaching full-time from my career. and how I've been able to help other women to do the same, to build their business, to be able to do the same. And so when I'm helping my clients, and the beautiful thing about this too is like when you're transitioning from your career to your calling as a coach, nothing goes, it's still going to be embedded in who you are, right? It's a part of who you are. So I'm a nurse, right? So of course my CPR, like it's just me, like it's a CPR framework. I'm called to revive the body of Christ with my CPR framework. And so the same way I've been able to take a lot of what I would do in my career, my previous career, into my coaching career is the same way you'll be able to do the same. And so I say that because inside of Business by Belief, not only are we building out your business, but I'm helping you to heal your nervous system and to heal any broken belief systems that you've had that is tackling or self-sabotaging your business, right? So the work that I do with you is to help you to no longer self-sabotage your business. And that comes oftentimes from our nervous system trying to keep us safe because you have belief systems on like self-worth. You have broken belief systems on money, right? Some money blocks that has to be uprooted. We get to the root of those things. You may have some belief systems on visibility, affairs of being seen, right? And so I'm able to work with the way you've been designed to work, your anatomy, your physiology, taking my nursing skills into my career as a coach. And so this is the beautiful thing about being able to transition from career calling. You're still taking bits and pieces of that career into your work, right? And so I want to invite you to comment believe or just click the link in the description and just apply for the Business by Belief Accelerator. I'm sure you'll be an amazing fit. I'll review your application and we'll get on a one-on-one call and then see if you're a good fit. And then we'll work from there to actually build out your coaching business so that you can transition into coaching full-time. All right. Without chasing clients, without self-sabotaging, and without sacrificing time with your family, because this is you're building your business to be present with, right? So we don't want to defeat. Some people, they build a business and they're so steadfast on building this business. Even one of my mentors said this once. He said, and it kind of disturbed me, but he was just saying like there's no such thing as balance. And that when he was building his business, like he had to miss his kids' games and he had to miss like a lot of things in the name of building his business. And I just don't agree with that. Like I love and respect him dearly, but I don't agree with that. I feel like, especially as moms, like we can build a business that actually aligns with us still being present as moms and being present to not have to miss those games and not have to miss those important moments with our children. And so yeah, that is something that's really valuable to me. And I know it's valuable to many of my clients, and I know it's valuable to you as well. And so that's what I have for you in today's episode of The Daily Dose. I pray it's been a blessing to you. I'm going to jump off of here now, but before I go, I'm going to tell you, just as God told me, put one foot in front of the other, step out on faith, and trust God for the next step. I'll see you in the next live. Bye for now.